Good morning, everybody. I'm Abel Rodriguez, and this is my wife, Rachel Rodriguez. We have been here at Church on the Hill for 4 years, and it is a blessing to be a part of this church.
Just want to say thank you for allowing us to do this testimony to share with you guys. We dated a little over a year, and kind of had a shock of our lives. I came out pregnant with our first daughter, Alexia. And I grew up in church. I was a pastor's daughter, and you can imagine the disappointment and the grief that I brought my parents when we told them that I was pregnant. Abel actually graduated on a Friday night, and we told his parents on Friday night, and I got up the next morning and was trying to wait on Abel to get there for us to tell him, and I couldn't wait for Abel, and so I went ahead and sat my parents down and I told them that I was pregnant. And of course, me and my mom, we began crying. My dad got up and walked outside and stayed there for a while. He came back inside and said 2 things to me. He said, either you marry Abel or he's going to jail. So at the time, Abel was 18 and I was 16. So Abel graduated on a Friday and we were married on Tuesday morning.
Well, once then, we had Alexia, and she had complications. She was born with a rare heart complication, and 7 days after she was born, she had open heart surgery. Now, doing that, for us being a young couple, it was hard. It was hard. Never experienced that, and I hope to never experience that again. I mean, it was just an emotional roller coaster. At times, we didn't know if she was going to make it, and it was just a struggle. And we knew that we had to put God in this, and that God was going to get us through this.
Okay, so after Lexi was born, we brought her home after being sick for a month. We stayed at the hospital for a little over a month, and we came home, and life kind of continued. We had another daughter, Gabby, and life just kind of went on. And kind of in the middle of our marriage, I think Alexia was 8 years old, we had a period of infidelity in our marriage. We separated. There was a lot of resentment and heartache and just a lot of overwhelming feelings, and we separated, and I held a lot against Abel. And through our marriage, I loved Abel, I cared for Abel, but I was never in love with Abel. And even when that happened, it was even more of a, I don't love this guy. He did this to me, and I can't be with him anymore. We separated, and about 8 or 9 months later, we kind of reconciled and got back together. And life kind of went on from there again. We just kind of went into the cycle of just being together and being parents and raising our daughters together.
After that, I guess 4 years ago, we went through another emotional low point in our lives. And there was a point where we knew we needed something. We didn't know what. I asked God. I asked him, if you're real, show me. And also I was like, do you love me? And he do show me. And as soon as I know it, we come to this truck, and in the back of this truck, the sticker says, God loves you. And for me, that was just a confirmation that you are real and you do love me. And from that point, we gave our lives to the Lord, and we've been moving forwards ever since then.
We became Christians 4 years ago. I finally submitted myself to God and actually put Him first. Like I said, I grew up in church and never really had a relationship with God. I knew about God, I knew who He was, I knew that we went to church and just kind of the same routine of just going to church, and never really had a relationship. But that moment 4 years ago when I submitted myself to God, I immediately fell in love with Abel. I saw him through God's eyes, and a new sense of love came for me to him. And once you really feel God's love and God's mercy, it's an overwhelming feeling, and I think that that's what I needed. All this time we've been married and we lacked the actual love that we could feel from God. And once we got that, it was an immediate response for me to tell Abel that I hadn't been in love with him for most of our marriage, but that when God came in our life, that I immediately fell in love with him. So.
Now we've been married 19 years. Next June will be 20 years. We have 3 beautiful children, Alexia, Gabby, and Andrew. I thank God each and every year that I get to spend with her. And I just pray that this would be a blessing to somebody. Maybe somebody's going through something similar. I pray that this testimony that we share will help in any way. And we just thank everybody here and thank God for all He's done in our lives and will continue to do in our lives.